previous two videos, we've looked at the three waves of AI in the contact center: legacy, touchtone IVRs and clickbots, the second wave of conversational AI with speech to text and natural language understanding that was supposed to make the experiences better and be deployed faster, but really didn't achieve everything that it was hyped to achieve. And then we had generative AI that potentially could be the answer. In the second video, we looked at how the performance of GPT-4, probably the best generative AI model available today, was versus humans on many different benchmarks, and saw that GPT-4 can actually meet or often exceed human performance on key benchmarks and standardized exams. And also we saw how the performance is going up, but the costs are crashing down too, opening up generative AI as a solution to some of the thorniest issues in the contact center. Today I want to share an example of how generative AI can be applied in a chatbot scenario. Here we've got a customer that's contacting about a delivery which they're expecting today, but they say they've got to go to the vets. Now already the previous generations of AI, the legacy chatbots and clickbots and IVRs, and the second wave of conversational AI with speech to text and natural language understanding, it couldn't do this. It couldn't reason that the fact someone's going to the vets means they're not going to be in to take that delivery, but Gen AI can. And then it takes the customer through the process of confirming their name and their zip code to verify their identity, and then it's able to dip into a back-end system and pull up the information on, in this case, Steve's Jones account. And yes, there's the order. It's a vivid red Bluetooth speaker, and it was supposed to be delivered. Now, the AI is already being proactive and offering other options for the customer, but they're going to take it on a little diversion here. Just want to check, is there a death fan coming with that order too? No, it's just the vivid red Bluetooth speaker. And then the AI brings Steve back onto track. Again, this would have been really hard to support using either of the previous waves of AI technology in a contact center. And now that this user is being a little bit oblique, tomorrow I'm visiting my dad. So just like the start of this dialogue, the consumer isn't saying exactly that they need to reschedule. They're just expressing their challenge, saying what's what, and the bot is figuring it out. And that's the power of generative AI. It's now offered a few slots, and just for fun, we had this user really make the AI figure out the solution. Here, Steve is explaining that he works at a school from 8 till 5, Thursdays and Fridays. Can the chatbot work around him? I think it's a great example of how Gen AI can provide a really user-centered experience. We're not forcing the customer to select from options or even express themselves specifically in terms of rescheduling. They just say what their challenge is, what their reality is, and the bot's able to negotiate a time that works for them. Saturday seems to work in this case, and that's all scheduled and booked in. So I hope you realise this is the kind of experience that would just be impossible with previous AI technology. The system understands what the customer needs from those vague inputs. It identifies who the user is and verifies them with their zip code, and then tracks down the order that's due for delivery. And then it handles side questions and diversions, but brings the customer on track and collaborates to find the best time for re-delivery. This is a really common challenge, one that we've all experienced as online purchasers, and I hope you can see how generative AI has enabled a much more nuanced, human-like and effective interaction. But beyond that, there's a much, much better cost and time to build versus complexity ratio here. As I explained, it would be almost impossible to create this kind of experience using classic conversational AI, but with generative AI, we can create a really nuanced and effective experience, and we can do so much more quickly and at a lower cost that it would have been possible to do anything like this with classic conversational AI.